we'll move on to my favourite part, which is the predictions. I'm still slightly ahead, Matt, after last weekend. Again, you closed the gap with an extra win. We both said in the Pearshig and Doon. I went for Kildimo Palace Kenry. They lost by 2 points at Dare. You had a Dare. We both had Mungret. We both said your beloved Glenrue. I did fancy Bruff to get a win before the relegation final, and they did just that against Newcastle West. And obviously, Capmore victorious over Mru Bohor. You called that. I went the other way. Going into this weekend, Matt, it'll be all about the football. We'll do the 8 games between the Senior Football Championship and the Intermediate Football Championship. So we'll start with, as we did earlier, in order, and you can discuss more about the Senior, and you can talk about the Intermediate because we totally bypassed that earlier on. But starting with Casey's versus Monaleen, who will win and by how much?
Monaleen by 3.
Monaleen by 3, as easy as that. I better take note of this. I actually have gone the other way. I've gone for Father Casey's. We've talked about Monaleen a lot, I think, over the years, and they've failed us. And saying that now, if they hear this, they'll have another bit of motivation. But I think Father Casey's, just with that first round win against Galbally, I know how good Newcastle can be. I just think they haven't been in a semi-final in a while. They'll rue that loss to Ballyseen last year. I'm just going with Father Casey's. Then on Saturday, Galtee Gales versus Ula. I said earlier, I think Galtee are favourites. I'm going to go for a 1 point Galtee Gales win.
2 Gales.
2 Gales. And it would be a great achievement for Galtee to get into a semi-final.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
And then talking about achievements, Newcastle West versus Clahan's first year to get into the semi-final.
I'm going for Newcastle West by 4 there, Jack.
Yeah, I have Newcastle West by 5. Just like the experience tells a lot in these games, and for Clahan to avoid the relegation altogether and to get a knockout stage game in their first year back, it's a huge achievement.
Huge, absolutely.
And then obviously we have Ballysteen versus Adair. You know which way I'm going. I'm going for a 1 point Ballysteen victory. Will you go against us again?
Is there any facility in this contest for passing?
No, your day out in Ballysteen done now, so you don't have to worry about offending us anymore. You were called
unfortunately, until Alan Q, I'll buy him a pint if I'm wrong. I'm going for Adair by 3.
Adair by 3. Yeah, look, Adair are favourites, but you have to go with your own, and I think there's a result in Ballysteen, and hopefully it'll be proved right.
Yeah, well, I you know, they're tough customers, and you know, Adair will be very, very aware of that.
Yeah, they'll definitely be aware of it, I suppose.
Because it's part of the success of Adair is that they don't underestimate anybody, and they're totally professional about how they go about their business. You know.
Yeah, hopefully they'll do a bit of underestimating this weekend, and we can take advantage of it. But look, 4 great games. You can see by the winning margins there that they promise to be close encounters. We've then the 2 results we've gone different ways. In the Intermediate Championship, then you've Rathkeil versus Drumbrodford, and this would have been a senior fixture as recently as 3 or 4 years ago. Realistically,
2017 was a senior fixture.
Yeah. Rathkeil were obviously relegated that year, and Drum went down last year. Who will be making that step closer to getting promoted again?
I think Rathkeil. I'm giving Rathkeil by a point.
Rathkeil by a point. I've Rathkeil by 1 point, or I've Rathkeil by 2. You've Rathkeil by a point. Yeah, it's very touch and go.
Very touch and go.
And another one I think is extremely touch and go is Mungret St. Paul's versus Kildimo Palace Kenry, and I think a lot of it has to do with Kildimo Palace Kenry's lost to Adair in the hurling. Now, I know they have a county cup final, but in the grand scheme of things, I think this game is probably more important for the club as a whole. They'll have their hurlers back. They'll probably have their 2 All-Ireland winning hurlers as well, who are well able to play football, and we saw them in the junior championship in 2018. I'm still going for Mungret but just by a point in this city derby.
I'm going with Mungret by 5.
By 5?
Yes.
That's a comprehensive one. I think we kind of single out Mungret as one of the favourites earlier in the year, but I think Kildimo having the hurlers does make them that more potent, and I wouldn't be surprised if Kildimo won it, but they're both going for Mungret. The next 2 games I think are more straightforward. You have Gerald Griffins versus Bruff. We'd single out Gerald Griffins as the early favourites. you can't really go against them this weekend.
Griffins by 6.
Yeah, I have Ger Griffins by 10, and that's no disrespect to Bruff, but just that's where the teams are. And then St. Senans versus Palace Green. St. Senans alongside Ger Griffins were probably the most comprehensive team in the group stages. I've gone for Senans by 8. It's a lot, but I just fancy their scoring power.
No, I have more respect for Palace than Palace are dogged. They're dogged side when they come to knockout championship. I'm going for Senans, but I'm only going for Senans by 4, Jack.
Senans by 4. Yeah, I know. I like that. Again, any result I put down, it's not to go with any disrespect intended for any team. I just think St. Senans have a lot of scoring power, and have been thereabouts for a lot of years. We're obviously senior as recently as 2019, I'm going to say, the year they got relegated, whereas Palace probably haven't been.
Absolutely, yeah. And you recall that the previous year, actually, their first year up in 2018, they were distinctly unlucky to miss out on the quarterfinals on scoring difference.